Tennis. Okay, the meeting's being live streamed. Got it.
Live from your YouTube channel, Hebsy. It's Hebsy on Sports.
You scared me. You startled me there. Good morning.
Good morning. While you address the red carpet attendees, I'm going to tweet at you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Another Friday morning. What is it? The 15th of July. Welcome aboard. Not much happening in sports this week.
You know,
like, man, you know, if we could take, there's a few stories I don't even know if I can get to today, unless we interweave them in with other ones, like the continuing scandal involving the 2018 World Junior Hockey Championship team and the hotel room in London, Ontario. And now a full investigation. Now every single person who is associated with that team is going to have to answer some questions. And so, you know, that's surrounding the upcoming hockey season, or, you know, even what's going on now, is just, you know, a lot for people to digest, especially in light of what happened last year with the Chris Beach thing in Chicago. And just, you know, that whole culture is not going to improve at all while this investigation goes on. Who was at fault? Who knew it was going on and didn't do anything? So we might get into that. It's just so heavy. You know, there's just such good sports going on. And then there's these, you know, people don't know who they are. They can assume who they are. The woman who made the original accusation had been paid off. And I don't want to make it seem as if, you know, she was doing something wrong. Not at all. She didn't want to have to go public with it. She accepted a settlement. She probably has likely, you know, mental health issues with regards to, you know, this horrible experience that she went through. But still, we got to do something about this. So I don't know if we're going to get into it or not. What do you think, Mike?
Lots to talk about.
Should we get into that in the show, or should we get into it on the...
Well, follow your heart. Follow your heart. But right now I need you to retweet the tweet.
Sure. Is that a song? Follow Your Heart by Toronto or something like that? What am I thinking?
Oh, I was thinking of Follow Your Daughter Home.
No. Follow Your Heart.
Follow Your Your daddy, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Your daddy don't know. From that era.
Yeah, of course.
Can we find that somewhere?
Yeah, well, you tweet and I'll find.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you're live with me. Yes, you are. Okay, so let's retweet this.
I hope so.
We are live.
Live.
Just together with.
I just like saying it like that, like it's Saturday Night Live or something. It's Triumph.
Right. Of course it is.
But I get worried about doing this because it kicks you off YouTube sometimes. So
okay, don't do it then.
I won't do it. Yeah, I forgot we're on YouTube. That's why I've learned that lesson the hard way. They don't have a good sense of humor when you play it. You know, it depends on which record label it's from, but it's like playing Russian roulette with your YouTube stream. And I don't want.
Wait a minute, isn't that? Wait, Russian. That's a Fred Durst line. That's a Limp Bizkit line, isn't it? Playing Russian roulette with your live YouTube. No.
Put your hat on backwards for that one. Ooh,
so, like,
any concerts lately?
Yeah. Lately, yeah, I did. I saw Tears for Fears a few weeks ago.
Yeah, with
Greg, and I saw who did I recently see? No, actually, I've got tickets for lots of shows coming up.
And what about that Los Lobos? Is it Tedeschi Trucks?
Yeah, well, I was supposed to go on Tuesday, and I got a call from Steve, and he's like, and I went, man, I got second row seats to see the Jays and the Phillies.
For the second row, wow! Look at you.
You know. And also, they're on at 6:20 at Art Park in Lewiston, New York.
Right.
Play for about 45 minutes because Tedeschi Trucks is they're one of the openers, Los Lobos, even though they're the Grammy Award winners. But still, they're opening.
Oh, I get that.
They're opening, and they're also opening for the Mavericks when they come this October. They're going to do a whole tour of Canada.
Just see them then. Yeah.
You know, so at 45 minutes. So now I'm going to drive 2 hours, rush hour traffic to get there for 6:20.
Right.
Watch them play for 45 minutes when I could see them 5 times in Ontario in October. In fact, I might see them probably 3 times.
Wow.
They got a Hamilton show that I'll go to, the Massey Hall show for sure I'll go to, and I might go to the show in Kitchener also. I like the venue there too. They play 2 shows in Ottawa. They play back-to-back nights in Ottawa.
Yeah, just do the Ontario shows. Yeah, I
Thunder
think
Bay.
you're,
Should I do Thunder Bay also? That's an Ontario show.
that's a long way. You
It's a
gotta fly. You
long
gotta
way.
fly to that show.
That's a long way. Anyway, so yeah, so they're
Have you
out
ever been to
there.
Thunder Bay?
Have I been to Thunder? Sure.
Yeah, you Hebsy man.
It's gorgeous, spectacular, but
I've
not
never
in the
been.
winter. But not in the winter.
But did you go for
beautiful.
personal reasons, or did work send you there?
No. I was on the road a few times, just, once hitchhiking as a teenager through there when it was called Fort William, Fort William and Port Arthur.
Right.
Were the two
right.
cities. Alec Del Vecchio is from Fort William, Ontario, not Thunder Bay. But anyway, a long time ago now. Up there, Dryden is nice. I've been up to Dryden before, up there.
Okay, look at you.
Fishing and stuff like that. And there you go. You want to start the show?
That sounds like where Bill Barilko disappeared. Where did he disappear?
That's further east.
Okay.
That's further east. That's out by out near Timmins and Cochrane and all that, closer to the Quebec border. Here we're talking the Manitoba border. So you're really not close. You got to work on your geography, don't you? Do you know where Tennessee is? You know where Tennessee is? We went through this.
We got to start the show, Hebsy. I can't take this geography quiz right now.
No, and I don't blame you.
It's tough up there. Once you get north of,
hang on a second. All right.
Once I get north of Algonquin Park. All right, Hebsy. Let's have a good one. We are recording.
Give me the silent countdown. Go ahead.
I will. We're recording in 5, 4, 3.
The following podcast is brought to you by Crosswinds Golf and Country Club in Burlington. Just 45 minutes, they tell me 48 minutes now, from downtown Toronto. You'll find the most beautiful and affordable public golf course in Ontario. Seriously, outstanding customer service from the time you drive through the gates. They really care about you there. Not like some of these places that'll just take your money and you'll never see them again. So fabulous customer service, $1 million views, fabulous food and beverages, and a championship golf course that's always in great shape. And if you book your tee time online, you save $10 per golfer. That's $40 for your foursome. That's enough to have a nice lunch at the Back Nine Bistro there. So take my word for it. It's always a glorious golfing experience at Crosswinds. Go to crosswindsgolf.com, book your tee time now, save some dough when you get there. Make sure you tell them that Hebsy sent you. They'll give you a big smile and send you on your way to the first tee. All right, Mike, let's start the podcast. Hey, sports fans, welcome to Hebsy on Sports, episode 293. I'm your host, Mark Hebsher, along with Toronto Mike. And today on the show, I told you so. I told you Charlie Montoyo was not the man to lead the Blue Jays. I told you. He was a stopgap measure. Always was. Not going to be the guy. Now the question is, can John Schneider do any better? Is he the guy? And how much rope will they give him? After last night's anemic loss, we'll investigate. Tiger Woods will not make the cut at the Open, and geez, he might finish last. I hope not, but a lot of people are sad about that. Not me. I had a bet that he wouldn't make the cut. Can't just roll out of bed 4 times a year at the age of 46 and expect to beat these young guns. I don't care if it's your favorite golf course of all time. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Because he made these comments about the Live Tour players before he even started his round that just, left a bad taste in my mouth. Dude, you don't like the fact that they took all the money and they abandoned the PGA Tour? Sorry. Go out and play golf. Beat them. The Leafs signed a couple of goalies, a couple of inexpensive defensemen, a couple of other guys. Let's see what they look like this year. Not going to even make any predictions. After what's been happening, we'll wait and see. Big surprise when Johnny Hockey signs with Columbus, saying he wanted to be closer to home. Columbus is nowhere near where he lives. He just wanted to get out of Calgary, and the folks there are pissed. Is Claude Giroux a future Hall of Famer? His new boss in Ottawa thinks so. Me, I'm not so sure. Great player, but Hall of Famer? I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't ask those kind of questions. Maybe reporters shouldn't ask things like, is Toronto Mike a podcast Hall of Famer? Lock cinch? Don't ever ask if someone, don't ask that question when someone's active, if they're a Hall of Famer. Just don't do it.
It's like asking someone if they're pregnant. Never, just don't do it.
No, it's not. There is no, you can't. Look, what do you expect? We expect the guy to say no. Can you imagine acquiring someone and then someone says, you think he's a Hall of Famer? What are you going to say? No, he's a good player. Don't ask those questions. Just don't. Write yourself or say it yourself. You think that so-and-so, that Claude Giroux is a Hall of Famer. The guy, the writer, I think but don't go and ask the guy that just acquired him. You put him in a very precarious position. Anyway, is DeAndre Ayton worth $133 million over 4 years? The Phoenix Suns think so. They matched Indiana's offer to keep the big guy in the Valley of the Sun. That's a lot of dough. We'll talk women's soccer. We got rule changes in baseball. More rule changes. And Jim Thorpe gets his Olympic gold medals 110 years after they were taken away from him because he was an amateur, but he wasn't an amateur. He made like $50 playing baseball, and he didn't tell them. They took his medals away. Lots to discuss today on the show. Toronto Mike is here. It's a beautiful day. What's going on with you?
Hebsy, man, good to see you. I know you were at the Jays game recently because I saw your photos. You were second row. Looked beautiful. I'm going to be there tonight. I'll be there with my wife. We're going to go to the game tonight. I got to say, Blue Jay fans are upset. They were guaranteed a sweep. I was seeing this on social media. Guaranteed 4-game sweep. What happened?
Well, not guaranteed. I mean, people got excited, and naturally so, when the Kansas City Royals announced that the 10 players. And by the way, all 10 of them from what country? What do you think? Take a guess. Because baseball's an international sport. Got players from all over the world.
Tell me.
94% of all players that didn't come to Canada, 94% were from what country?
Sounds like a loaded question.
34 out of 36, including all 10 Kansas City Royals, are from what country?
United States of America.
Wild guess.
United States.
Correct. Guys from the Dominican, vaccinated. Puerto Rico, vaccinated. Venezuela, vaccinated. Japan, vaccinated. Korea, vaccinated. United States, no.
Weird.
10 guys on the Royals, these assholes. And imagine being a Royals fan. All right? Oh, I'm a big fan of Whit Merrifield, the Iron Man. Just his 500 and some odd game consecutive streak snapped recently. Wouldn't miss a game unless his foot fell off. Okay? Imagine if he's going to go to Toronto, they're going to say, hey, Whit, you got this Iron Man streak going. What are you going to do? You think he's going to say, well, I'll end the streak because I don't want to get a jab? Right? That never came up. But here's what came up. All right? Dickwad that he is. He says basically, hey, man, if I'm playing for a team that's a contender, I'll get the jab.
Wow.
Like basically that, not basically, that's what he's saying. These idiots. Oy vey's mir. And Benintendi is an all-star. Okay. If Kansas City's going to unload him, they can get some decent players for him. But you think the Yankees want to sign a guy who isn't vaccinated? Okay. And can't go to Toronto? No. Fucking these guys are idiots. Idiots. Mike, if I didn't know any better, I would have sworn that it was the Blue Jays who had a bunch of rookies in their lineup last night and not the Kansas City Royals. Because the way they were swinging, the way they were wildly swinging in their 3-1 loss to the Omaha Royals, I just, they would have done this whether John Schneider was the manager or whether Charlie Montoyo was the manager, I think. I don't think that fans can go, oh, as soon as Schneider becomes the manager, they stop all of this nonsense that they've been doing. No. I don't know what they were thinking. Well, we've never seen this guy before. I'm sorry. The guy's a double-A pitcher. You've never seen him before. Show some patience or when he's swinging at these pitches. They get a runner at second base with nobody out in the 5th inning. Leadoff double from Kirk. Okay, who, by the way, is batting 3rd now in the order. Schneider, a little man. Okay, Springer, you keep leading up. You know what? Flatty, you go 2. Bo, you go 4. Kirky, you go 3. Beautiful, fabulous. Okay. Now, you can't beat a double-A pitcher and another guy with an ERA of fucking 10? Come on. No, I don't expect you to win every game, but come on. You guys should have been motivated. You should have been licking your chops. Okay? 2 guys making their major league debuts. Another guy, like I said, double-A. Come on. Striking out on 3 pitches. Look, did you see Vladdy? He hasn't, first of all, And I'm not picking on Vladdy, but I am picking on Vladdy because it's his team. It's his clubhouse. Okay. He doesn't step on the bag one day. His glove is a thing with his glove another day. He swings at 3 pitches to start the 8th inning. I don't know if you were watching the game last night. Leads off the 8th inning. You're down a run. Strikes out of 3 pitches against a guy with a 10 ERA. All 3 pitches out of the strike zone. What the fuck happened? What's going on? Bo swinging at pitches all over this place. Lourdes, like, what happened to this plate discipline? Teoscar too. So the one thing I think John Schneider has to do, never mind, he's got the GM Atkins is already, he's dangling by a thread after all this. He's dangling by a thread. He is hoping, if the Jays don't make the postseason, he's gone. He's out. He goes before Schneider goes. Because Schneider has been in the organization for so long that I'm sure there was a time when he was managing in Medicine Hat or Dunedin or New Hampshire, where the brass said, who's going to be the manager that takes this team to the promised land? We're going to go get Joe Girardi. We're going to go get Joe Torre. We're going to get, some of these old guys. No, we got to get a guy that comes through the organization that knows these players. So at some point, they must have said, Schneider's our guy. He's going to be the guy. He's done his time. He knows the organization. He plays BlueJays baseball or whatever that is, right? The fundamentals that go with it, blah, blah, blah. And he's nurtured these guys, these kids, since they were youngsters, Vlad and Bo and Kevin Biggio and Jordan Romano and Santiago Espinal and Danny Jansen he managed for a while there. So he knows these guys. So I'm sure at some point they didn't say it to him, but they inferred. Schneid, you keep doing what you're doing. These players keep developing. You keep developing. And you're going to be the manager of the Blue Jays someday. Because if he didn't get that indication, if he never got that indication, he wouldn't still be in the organization. He'd be trying to find a job somewhere else. Charlie Montoyo came in as a stopgap measure. He was with the Tampa organization. He was a coach. Never good enough to be a manager. He was a AAA manager, and they needed somebody. Maybe perhaps somebody that spoke Spanish, somebody that was easygoing, that was deferential, that was perfect stopgap measure until they found the manager that they had to have that was going to take this team to the promised land. And Montoyo wasn't that guy. I told you from the beginning. From the first time that Marcus Stroman showed him up, from the first time that he couldn't answer a question, like from that scene in Goodfellas, he couldn't. You notice he couldn't answer questions. He was uncomfortable with all that. He because it wasn't his team. They put him in there and said, just do the best you can. And then they came within one game and they looked and said, gee, I don't know if this is the guy or not. And then they went, nah, he's the guy. Let's give him an extension in April. So everyone's like, well, they just gave him an extension. So he's got to be the guy they're going with. And I'm like, an extension? Like, why? What for? Why an extension? Do they really believe that Charlie Montoyo is the guy? Because if they do, they're nuts. Well, obviously they didn't. So giving him the extension was, I don't know what they were thinking. And I guess it wasn't for that much. How much money could he have been making?
No idea, but that is curious, though, because they seem to, they extended him in the offseason. And you and I both on this show surprised by that because neither of us believed this was the guy. In fact, we felt this move was a long time coming, like it's time to compete.
Right. Now, I got to say something here. Arash Madani he had a tweet that basically said the Jays were tanking to get Montoyo fired. It was really kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? Now, I'm not going to repeat the thing, but the inference is that the Jays knew a long time ago that they were going to blow Charlie Montoyo out. But they had a winning streak going. They played really well against Tampa and Boston, and so they had to delay that. And there wasn't a good time. And then, the unfortunate passing of Baczynski's daughter and all that kind of thing. So his inference was that they were all along going to drop the hammer on Charlie, and and they just did it here. And they in this losing streak, they were tanking. They were not winning. Would have made it easier to get rid of Charlie. Like, what the hell? That's a conspiracy theory from someone who works for Rogers.
Interesting.
And he didn't mention, and he had never mentioned any of that in the past. He had never in his reporting ever said anything about that. Never heard that before. So, whoa, what was that? And now he's on the other night. I guess it was last night. And I'm, is he going to say any of this type of thing? Are they going to bring this up with him? Hey, Arash, about that tweet that you said about I wonder how that came about. That was really, really weird. That was really odd, didn't you think?
Yeah, well, I missed the tweet, but that whole sentiment to come out of the blue like that sounds like doesn't sound like it's based on any knowledge. It sounds almost like an emotional tweet, like trying to explain the losing streak.
It was really odd. Really
doesn't sound like a rash. Normally better than that.
Anyway, so last night, people, look at the Royals have got a bunch of new guys, and we should be able to wipe these guys out. They're a terrible team anyway with their regular guys. And then, the hitters are up there and they just, okay, first time through the order. Hey, this kid's got some good stuff. Lourdes Gurriel, he couldn't pick up on like how the kid's slider. I can't even think of the kid's name. Zap, forget it. But like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is a major league hitter. He's seen sliders from lefties. I don't know how many at-bats he's had in the major leagues. You're telling me that a kid from AA has got a slider that's baffling these major league hitters? Come on. These pitchers are not in the strike zone. None of them. This is an over-anxious team. Let's wait and see if this kid can throw strikes. I get that, but come on. Leadoff double in the fifth from Kirk, and then the next three guys, nothing. Strikeout, ground out. Then they got a reverse call on a Bo Bichette caught stealing in the eighth. Okay, he was called out, and then the entire Royals team came off the field. It was the third out, and then they replay overturned the call, and then the entire Royals team had to go back out on the field because he was declared safe on replay, and then Teoscar grounded out to end the inning. Now, look, these are games you have to win. You got to win these games. You got teams breathing down your neck. You got other teams that you're like, they're getting further away from you for the top two wild card spots. You got to win these games, and especially going into the All-Star break against a team that you should kick the shit out of. So it was a lost opportunity. And, listen, Schneider's great with the post-game press conferences. He's done 2 of them. Wait a while. Let's just see how happy-go-lucky he is. He said the Jays were unlucky last night. I like that. It's good. They, instead of saying we were shit or we didn't hit with runners in scoring position or whatever it was, he just said we were unlucky. Unlucky. I don't think so. This team has lost 10 of their last 13. Their only wins have come against Oakland and 2 games against an undermanned Philadelphia Phillies team that didn't have two of their best hitters and 4 regulars for the most part. So they beat a team that they should have beaten, okay? And they didn't beat a team they should have beaten last night. You got to win these games. And what's going on with the team now? How rallied together are they going to be? Vladdy's got to go, and Kirk's got to go to California, to LA for a couple of days for the All-Star game. They both need rest. Kirk's your starting catcher. He needs rest. Vladdy is your starting first baseman, and he needs rest. So he says, I'm not going to take part in the home run derby. Like, the home run derby is a big deal now. Suddenly, all these superstars want to get in their home run derby. Vladdy's like, no, I need my rest. Yeah, he does need his rest, but he's got to go because he's the starting first baseman. And Kirk needs his rest, but he's got to go, and I get that. And Springer is like, I'm not going to go because I need my rest. Load management. And then as soon as the All-Star break is over, guess what? Jays are in Boston. Then they get the Cardinals at home, and they better be prepared for a tough grind. Managerial change? I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I want to hear about what you think of this timing of the Montoyo change. It's just because
never a good time. There's never a good time. Trust me, it never ends well. Ask any Major League Baseball manager in history. It never ends well. You rarely, if ever, do you go out on your own terms. You don't. But Charlie had to know. He had to know. He couldn't have been shocked by this.
No.
And there's never a good time, especially when there's a death in the family and all that kind of thing. There's never a good time. But if you're Ross Atkins, you go, geez Christ, we just, and we lost to Oakland and Seattle. Like, it's not like we went into Boston and New York and got our asses kicked. We lost to Oakland and Seattle. Come on.
Although Seattle's playing well lately.
Well, thanks to the Jays. The Jays' expense. Look at those games we lost. Carlos fucking Santana with 2, not 1, with 2. And Mike, I I hate to say this. No, I don't. Did I not say on a number of occasions, you want a good hitter? You want Carlos Santana? Okay, sure, he's an old guy, but he can fucking hit. And he can take walks. He can get on base. You could have had this guy from Cleveland. He was available to you. Okay, you got Bradley Zimmer. It's okay, you got Bradley Zimmer. Just saying. Carlos Santana, hell of a hitter.
Woo.
Hell of a hitter. Available to you.
Great guitarist too, right? Carlos
Same guy. Look, you went through. Look, years ago, you wanted hitters. You went and got Al Oliver in '85. Pretty good.
Yeah.
You want major league hitters. Bradley Zimmer. Oh, Zimmer's coming up. Oh, wonderful. Oh, Tappy is coming up. Oh, fabulous. These guys they're not gonna help that much. You need impact players, especially if your team isn't hitting. You need veteran guys. Anyway. So, yeah, Montoyo, do I feel bad? Look, you're hired to be fired. Did he think that maybe there might be a chance that he might get fired, even though he got a contract extension? Of course. Okay, he knows what's going on, Ross Atkins. The tick, tick, tick. The time is tick, tick, ticking for Ross Atkins here. Every day that goes by that this team doesn't look like they have a chance to contend, they're a championship team, he looks bad. He's got to do something about it, right? This is a team that was one game away from making the playoffs. And remember the year before that? They were in the sort of playoffs or whatever you called it, right? And what did Charlie Montoyo do with Matt Shoemaker? I don't want to get into that.
Right.
Told you right then and there. Guy's nervous in the service. He looks like he's sitting on the toilet when there's a key time in the ball game.
Well, a lot of people think he's really not making these decisions. Like he doesn't even set the lineup.
Right. He's the puppet to
the analytics, the computer spits out your lineup, and he basically deploys it.
The puppet to start with, right?
Right.
Who's pulling the strings?
Right now. Okay, so this series against the Royals, going into it, I'm not one of those guys who said guaranteed sweep because this is baseball. It doesn't work that way. But a split would be a huge disappointment to split this 4-gamer at home against the depleted, terrible Royals. So we got to win the next 3, right, Hebsy?
We don't have to. You'd like to. No, you'd like to.
I believe you called this you got to win these games, I think you said.
Well, you do have to. Yeah, I mean, you got to win these games. Look, what are we talking about? Making the playoffs? They could lose all 3 games and still end up making the playoffs.
Sure.
Possible. But naturally, everything is, we're panic ridden at this point.
You make it harder for yourself by blowing these games. These are the easier games to win. You got to win these games.
Number 1, you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 1. You're home. Okay. Number 2, you've got it, like you say, a depleted team that is playing like it's like someone said, "Do you guys want to go to Toronto for the weekend and just have fun? Like no expectations, guys. Go to Toronto, have some fun." So last night looked like they were having fun.
Yeah, they were loose.
Hey, we're in Toronto. Like we got nothing to lose, and They won.
Yeah.
So if they maintain that attitude, and at the same time, the Jays players, the batters are squeezing the sawdust out of their bats and swinging at pitches that are in the dirt. Oh, we've never seen this guy before. Here's a kid from AA. He's never seen you. He's facing major league hitters.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best hitting lineups in all of baseball. And they're saying to him, don't throw the ball in the strike zone. Like throw it out of the strike zone and see if they chase it. And from minute 1, that's what they were doing.
Right.
They're going, oh, beautiful. So why should I throw the ball in the strike zone when they're chasing pitches out of the strike zone?
Now, Hebsy, there's a great question on your YouTube channel, and just a reminder to the podcast listeners, because most people listen on podcasts, but if you're up at Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern, this is live on Hebsy's YouTube, and I do read the comments through the show, so take a note, set your alarm, get in here. But the question is, you mentioned Atkins could be on the hot seat here if the Blue Jays miss the playoffs. What about Shapiro?
Oh, yeah. But again, I don't know enough about board decisions, like who's going in there. The Rogers executives are okay. What are we going to do here? Right? I don't know what kind of contract he's got. I don't know what his plan is. But at this particular point, he seems to. There's a few things that have to happen. One of them is not going to happen, and that is the Jays are not going to be in another division besides the American League East. That's it. So right now you're looking at the Yankees, Boston, Tampa, Baltimore up your ass. Okay.
What a division.
Right. Yeah. Right. So your hope is, you make the playoffs, win your wild card series, acquire the players that you need, and try to set up some type of a time frame. Is this year one of a 3-year period where you get all your ducks in a row and you got the best players possible and the best manager and let's go? And all right, that's our plan. 3 years with, the rest of this year with John Schneider. Hopefully they make the playoffs, would be lovely. If they don't make the playoffs, you're going to blow Schneider out? No, you got to have him come back for spring training. You got to have a full year with this guy. He's been in the organization for this many years. Okay. Will the fans be upset? Well, it depends. Depends on a lot of things. How are your players performing? So it's up to the players, obviously. And for John Schneider, what's he going to do? He's going to change? No, he's an easygoing guy. He's a fun-loving guy. He high-fives his own players. So this idea that there's not going to be any more home run jackets and there's not going to be any more Gatorade showers, this is still Vladdy's team.
Right.
That's Vladdy's clubhouse. And the clubhouse belongs to the players. Right? And the manager can say whatever he wants to say. If the players buy in, great. But I think we assume that John Schneider's going to go, all right, guys, Charlie's gone now. All right? We're only 6 games over for above 500. We can't have any more of these antics. No, man. Guys, be yourselves. Just be aware that we're not playing up to our potential, that we're chasing bad pitches, that we're making base running errors, that we're not focusing on the game. Maybe we're focusing on some other things that we shouldn't be as much. Like, in other words, Lourdes, not so much focus on your hair, a little more focus on chasing sliders out of the zone. Vladdy, that's fine too. Focus on making sure you touch first base with your foot, that your glove is in good shape. I don't know, that you're not lollygagging. I had mentioned last week, and I want to bring that up, but it just seemed to me there was a general malaise on this team. And again, we're dealing with a fragile team in more ways than one. Your manager just got fired. Why did he get fired? Because you guys are fucking up, right? You had a death in the in the immediate family of the team. All right, you're playing bad baseball. The expectations are high. You guys are young. There's a bit of pressure on you guys. There's no more, we don't have a home to play in because of COVID. We play in Buffalo. We play in Dunedin. There's no more of that. Okay? There's no more, there's rainouts. We have to. No, there's none of that. Oh, we've got terrible injury problems. Well, okay. And your pitching staff, yeah. Up to your GM to fix it. But come on now. You're big boys. Let's go. Let's play some ball. Tiger Woods.
Yes.
So the best bet this week on Bodog, and I did it on my thing the other day, the best bet was British Open odds. Tiger to not make the cut was plus 125. I went, whoa. This guy thinks he can roll out of bed at the age of 46 and play four or five tournaments a year against the best players in the world because he loves St. Andrews and he won there 17 years ago or whatever. Are you kidding me? That was the bet of the century. Tiger making the cut? Tiger's going to be one of the top 70 players in the world, even though his world ranking is 599th. What's wrong here? Is there a little emotional? Did people go, oh, I love Tiger? That's what it is. When you bet with your heart, give me the other side. Give me the other side. Oh, Tiger, we want Tiger. We want Tiger for the weekend. Tiger. Really? You think Tiger's one of the top 70 players in the world? I don't give a shit. I don't care if it's a fucking mini putt course. Well, you can't. You think everyone else is going to lie down? Oh, come on, Tiger. Go past all of us.
These greats, these elites, these generational guys, they do things that seem incredible. So we're used to them sort of, Tiger walking on water.
Are we? But are we really, Mike? You think that? Is that true? Tell me, how did that work out for Roger Federer this year? All right, Nadal. And I'm just saying, though. I mean, come on. And we're talking about a one-on-one sport. I have to beat you in order to advance. We're talking about Tiger Woods having to beat 150 other golfers and score and put up great scores on golf courses, on really tough golf courses that other players have been playing for every week for years. You're right. You've played 7 rounds of golf or 9 rounds of golf, and you can't even freaking walk. I mean, you were lucky not to have your leg amputated. This isn't Tiger's fault. But now you compound things because you decide that you're going to give some shit to the guys who went to the Live Golf. So without mentioning names, you don't have to. They all know that it's Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Lee Westwood, Patrick Reed. I mean, all these guys. By the way, some of them are doing very well at the British Open. So he comes out and he basically says, well, they turned their back on the tour and they're not good guys. And I'm like, man, you didn't have to do that. You know, Greg Norman couldn't show up for the Champions Dinner because he's the head of Live Golf. Hey, man, you know, it's kind of petty when you think about it. Go out and play. But to be making comments on other guys that you're going to be in the field with, and now you're going to finish last, Tiger. How much weight are those comments carrying? If you won the tournament, you could say, see, you see? But dude, last, I don't know where he's at now. He was +7 last time. It's embarrassing.
Right.
Way to go, Tiger. You two putted from 60 feet. It's fucking embarrassing. More so because he went off half-cocked before the tournament to represent the PGA Tour and to tell these mavericks, these guys, you know, that you shouldn't be doing these things. And this is Tiger, a guy who revolutionized the sport of golf, basically, and he felt compelled to say that this wasn't the right thing for his sport. Well, guess what? I made money on Tiger, big money, because I bet that he wouldn't
make the cut.
I bet that he wouldn't make the cut, and I put it on my comments. It's out there. Go ahead and check Bodog, check the seed. Okay. So thanks, Tiger. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. And it wasn't his fault. If you were to ask Tiger, he would say, I hope to make the cut. And of course, I play to win. I mean, that's what he said. That's what anyone would say. Right. Of course. But, you know, Tiger should be, I mean, Tiger's better than this guy. He's not. Oh, Tiger's better than him. No, he's not. He's not better than him or 128 other guys. He's not. He hasn't been playing. You can't just, I'm Tiger Woods. I could just show up. I can play St. Andrews 8 times before the actual tournament, and I can beat you guys. Oh, you can't. You can't beat anybody. You can't. Oh, his first ball went into a divot. I'm watching TSN last night at 6:00. Okay, I watch part of the interruption at 5:30 if I try to, and at 6:00 I watch TSN. So it's Corey Warren. So the first 5 minutes are every shot that Tiger took in the tournament. And here we go, and Tiger Woods. So here's his opening shot, and it lands in a divot, a sand divot. Ooh, right? Ooh, he won't be able to put the proper spin on the ball. Ooh, what a bad break. He puts it into the burn. Oh, he misses a double bogey. Oh. So the whole thing was about Tiger. He was awful. It's super funny.
You know what I love about Hebsy on Sports? Like, we can be a half an hour deep into this program, and we haven't mentioned the fact the Leafs have a whole new set of goaltenders next season. Like, how can that not be? That's amazing, though. It takes a half an hour. That's how much there's to talk about. I think that's amazing in this market.
It's not amazing. It's not, because, as you know, it doesn't mean anything. The Leafs means nothing until we see them play again. Make any move you want. Woohoo, we got this guy. That. Sorry, man. You said it last year, Mike. Let me know when the playoffs start.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've seen this movie before, Hebsy. Yeah.
And let's be honest. Woo, Matt Murray, he won 2 Stanley Cups. Yeah, okay. So what?
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, he oft injured Matt Murray. Really? Why wouldn't he go? Okay. And then Ilya Samsonov, who could walk into the room wearing his equipment from Washington last year, and we still wouldn't know who he is. But still, okay, it could be Jonas Gustafsson, and it could be Jonathan Bernier.
Right.
It could be James Reimer, and I'm sure these guys are all still playing, and Garrett Sparks. Right. It could be Michael Hutchison and Andrew Raycroft.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, it's not Ed Belfour. It's not Curtis Joseph. It's not Felix Potvin.
It's not Grant Fuhr.
It's not Fierzy. It's not Darren Pupa. And Jack Campbell goes and signs with Edmonton. Edmonton was good last year. We're going to be even better next year for 2 reasons. Look at the players they're adding. Campbell's solid. I mean, I think he'll be great in Edmonton. And he's with his buddies, Zach Hyman, Cody Ceci. What's the other defenseman's name? The guy that we had for a year, the Kadri deal. What was his name?
Oh,
come on. Who was the guy? Okay, whatever. Him too. Can't think of his name.
Any more coffee?
The Maple Leafs signed veteran defenseman Jordy Ben.
Right.
Okay. And Victor Mete.
Right.
And a couple other guys, I don't even know who they are. They lost, what's his name? The original soup man. He's gone to Vancouver for big money. Right. Ilya Kuryakin. What was his name? Mikheyev, right?
Oh, we got another Ilya. Yeah.
We got a Samsonov. That's right. And so, okay, that's great. That's, but good for the Leafs. Status quo and we'll see what happens.
But I got questions for you, okay? Firstly, fun fact, I think that this is our first ever Russian goaltender in the history of the Maple Leafs. Ilya Samsonov is the first ever Russian goalie.
Give a shit.
No, fun fact. Fun.
Come on.
You can't be the fun police 24/7.
Not a fun fact. Why is it a fun fact?
I think that's a fun fact. Our first Russian goalie. Okay,
who was our first Russian defenseman?
I don't know.
Well, let's hear the fun facts. Who was the first Russian defenseman?
Well, this just happened. That's why it's a fun fact right now. But Hebsy, now let me ask you a very pointed question here. All right, Mrazek and Campbell being your tandem versus Samsonov and Murray. What's the better duo in your opinion?
I don't know, Mike.
Well, that's what everybody's
for the first
be
30 games of
week.
next year. I don't know.
That's what everyone's going to be debating, right?
Is it really?
Like, are we better between the pipes now than we were last season?
Well, how good were we last season?
Well, one game away from
No. The season, not the postseason, Mike. Not the postseason. Because we don't know who our goalies are going to be in the postseason next year. We don't even know if the Leafs are going to make the postseason next year. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but
we should.
But, flip a coin. Name me two other goalies, right? And compare them with these two goalies. Like, go cherry pick two other goalies.
Okay.
Anywhere. Right? I don't know.
So you don't care.
Mike
you don't
Smith.
care.
Let's Mike Smith instead of Samsonov. Let's say. And instead of Matt Murray, John Gibson.
Okay.
It's a wash. I don't know.
So okay, but so you don't Campbell versus Murray. You don't care. Let's play the games.
No, let's play the games exactly.
And you host a sports podcast.
Yeah, but you're the one who thinks this is a big deal. I don't.
I think when you completely change your two goaltenders, that
they do it all the time, Mike. They completely change their goalies every couple of years. They do.
Yeah, but most definitely fodder for the people like us to chat about on our sports podcast.
Look, who won the Stanley Cup this year?
Colorado.
Who were their goalies?
Okay, so your point
No. Who were their goalies?
I can't remember his name right now. But...
Right, exactly. Who were their goalies 2 years ago? Two different guys. Am I right?
Okay, so
yes, they were.
So it's a crap.
It's just the way it is in hockey.
It's
just the way it is. Okay, you're the backup to Shesterkin. Now you're playing somewhere else, Georgia. Right? You're the backup to this guy. You're Freddie Anderson. You're in Colorado.
Okay,
you're
I'll
in Carolina.
Speak for myself. Then,
you're in Florida, Mike. You know this. There's a couple of goalies that have stuck with their teams.
Sure.
Right, and most goalies are St. Louis had 8 of the best goalies in the league.
Right.
And one by one, they were going to. Bishop was gone here, and and that they brought in Binnington, and this guy was gone there, and they just.
Okay.
This is what happens in hockey.
So, as a guy who knows less about hockey than you, Hebsy, I personally, I would rather Jack Campbell be our goaltender than Matt.
You
Murray.
knew that couldn't happen because the Leafs couldn't pay him.
Right.
So that was inevitable. And did you really want to keep Jack Campbell that badly?
Well, he's not. I don't want to make him out to be like Patrick Waugh here or anything.
Right. Exactly. So if he was better than average, then maybe the two goalies we have this year will be combined to be better than average, whatever that means. Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, will be roundly booed the next time the Columbus Blue Jackets visit Calgary. In fact, whatever, I haven't seen the schedule, circle it on your calendar. When Columbus visits Calgary, they're just going to boo the shit out of this guy. The Calgary Flames offered the veteran, who, by the way, had 115 points last year, second in the NHL, $85 million for 8 years. $85 million for 8 years. And he turned them down to sign with Columbus for $68 million over 7 years. Now, let me do my math here. Yeah. Wait a minute. That's a lot of money left on the table. All in U.S. funds, by the way. $85 million for 8 years is over $10 million a year. And 7 years, $68 million. Let's see here now. That's about $9.5 million. That's a lot of money. Okay. So that's okay, though. That's all right because he wanted to be closer to home. But he chose the Columbus Blue Jackets. And his home is in New Jersey. So let me just say, okay, I'm not that good at geography. Well, maybe I am. Columbus, Ohio, New Jersey, about an 8-hour drive. 8-hour drive. So, okay, an hour and a half flight. Oh, closer to home.
Well,
so Gaudreau tells the Columbus media, okay, oh, great to be here. Always wanted to play here. He goes, always wanted to play close to home. Well, Columbus isn't close to home, but, away from Calgary. And then he kind of goes, I didn't want to be in Calgary anymore. I'd spent enough time in Calgary. I'd spent 12 years in Calgary. It was time to get out of Calgary type of a thing. So after telling him that he wants to go close to home, they think Philadelphia, New Jersey Devils, New York area, right?
Yeah, the Tri-Cities there.
Yeah, Columbus. What the fuck? So it's like, get me out of here. I don't give a shit where. I don't care how much money it's for. Get me the fuck out of Calgary. That's what it sounds like.
It had a sense to me like it was get the fuck out of Canada.
Well, no. It's Calgary. Okay, now it's the fact that it's part of Canada, Mike. There's your
Columbus being part of the United States.
But there's your Canadian inferiority complex right there. Let the Calgarians worry about that. You're an outsider. You happen to be from the same country. It's not a Canada thing. It's a Calgary thing, which is part of Canada.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. His destination being Columbus.
Columbus of all places.
But how important do you think it was that he just wanted to play for an American city? I mean, let's remind everybody that he is American.
Right. He's American. He wanted to play closer to home. Okay. That is closer to home.
He wanted to play in the United States, right? Like, I feel like this is one of those situations where an American star wants to play in America.
All right, Mike. All right. Enough. Okay.
I'm guessing.
Enough. I know you're Canadian.
You disagree.
You wear your Canadian flag on your, I know everything is a.
Well, I'm not even offended by it.
Sure you are. Of course you are. You wouldn't have said it. Of course you are.
I just think that's the reason. I don't really care too much if he wants to play.
Yeah. I don't know. Right? Johnny Gaudreau. Good for him. I hope he's happy. Okay. I hope he's happy. The Ottawa Senators signed Claude Giroux to a 3-year, $19.5 million deal this week. Ottawa GM Pierre Dorion was asked if he thinks Giroux is a Hall of Famer. Dorion responded, "Yes, I do." Wow. Now, Mike, I hate when reporters ask these questions because the respondent is in a no-win situation and has to say yes.
Yes.
Has to say yes.
Agreed.
Because it's a leading question, because if they say no, I got my story. You just acquired a guy you don't even think he's a Hall of Famer. Blah, blah, blah. Then the argument
question,
comes, right? No, it's a stupid question. Fucking dumb question. I don't know who asked it. So even though Giroux will likely not make the Hall of Fame,
no,
very good player.
Hall of very good.
Hall of very good. Dorion had to say yes. I believe the question was asked at an open press conference. Don't ask those questions.
Dumb question. Yeah, dumb question because he's super biased.
Don't ask the question. Don't because you're starting a discussion that we shouldn't be having. It's unfair when someone is still playing, right?
100%.
Surefire Hall of Famer. And Mike,
unless it's Crosby or Ovechkin.
What about Mike? You said yourself. You tweeted out Joey Votto. What did you say?
I believe Joey Votto is.
Why do you even bring this up?
No, someone else brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
But what are you talking about?
Somebody tweeted at us and said, "Have we had the debate on Hebsy on Sports?"
And what did you respond?
I said, "In my opinion, Joey Votto is a Hall of Famer."
No, you didn't.
What did I write?
You went further than that. Come on.
You sure? A slam dunk Hall of Famer.
Slam dunk.
In my opinion, though, I did preface it by saying, what else do I have?
Mike, who else's opinion would you have?
In Hebsy's opinion.
Mike, who else's opinion? You said that Joey Votto is a slam dunk Hall of Famer.
I did say that, yeah.
He's not. Don't say those things. He's not.
In my opinion.
Mike, we know it's your opinion. You don't have to preface it with, in my opinion.
You're on fire.
We get it, Mike. He's not.
Tyson Barrie is the guy you were trying to think of earlier.
But I would love to see Joey Votto in the Hall of Fame too. But he's not a slam dunk. He's not.
Sure. I mean, he's
because people were saying the same thing about Scott Rowland. Oh, he's slam dunk. He's slam dunk. Not a slam dunk. Please don't do that. Don't even suggest while someone is still active. Okay, that they're going to be a Hall of Famer.
I think you're.
Don't add to the person's name by saying so and so, a surefire first ballot Hall of Fame. Don't fucking do it while they're still active.
Unless it's Crosby or Ovechkin.
Unless it's Albert Pujols, who's in his last season,
right.
And we know,
right?
Or like you said, there's a guarantee there, okay, that the day he stops playing, right, he's the surefire Hall of Fame. That's a given, but not with marginal players. All right. In soccer, Canada's women's national team blanked Jamaica 3-0. No, 3-0.
Why not nil? Where's nil going?
It's fucking Jamaica and Canada. It's not in England.
You still
3-0.
nil.
3-0. Okay, if it's in England, it's nil. I'll give them that.
Commonwealth countries have
In the CONCACAF semifinals. The U.S. won their semifinal 3-0 over Costa Rica. So it's Canada and the United States. CONCACAF final Monday in Mexico. The winner automatically qualifies for the 2024 Olympics, which are being held in what city, Mike? 2024 Summer Olympics in what city, Mike?
I'm going to say Tokyo, Beijing, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. Tokyo.
Neither one.
But Beijing.
Tokyo.
Where are we? Tell me.
Paris.
Oh, I knew that.
No, you didn't, or you would have said it.
I forgot I knew it, though.
And the defending Olympic champion in Olympic women's soccer is
Canada.
Thank you.
I watched that match.
And the current status of Canadian soccer is
men or women?
Both.
Going to the World Cup, both of them.
Precarious. The word is precarious, Mike.
Okay.
Mike, precarious.
Wasn't sure where you were leading me there.
Precarious, Mike, because these players, they're not going to play. I'm telling you right now, they're going to stand their ground.
Wow.
They deserve money, and this Canadian soccer business and the CSA are fucking them left, right, and center. And you know what? The players they'll never have leverage like this ever again. There was never, ever a consultation when the Canadian Soccer Association made this business deal to give up marketing rights and television rights and all that. It's fucked. I wanted to watch the match last night. I wanted to watch Canada, Jamaica, our Canadian girls. Nowhere to be found. It's on some station that I need a fucking 7 clicks at a satellite dish and a fucking VPN. I don't fucking know. Okay. And the other thing is, why can't I cherry pick and say, I want to pay for this game? I'll pay $5 for that game.
You know why?
I don't want to fucking have to subscribe to your fucking channel. I don't need to see Uruguayan soccer. Okay.
You know
I don't need all that shit. I don't need it, man.
Everything should be a la carte.
Fuck, man. Yeah. And I got to change providers again for English soccer this year because the zone doesn't have it. It's Fubo TV or whatever the fuck that is. Jesus.
And what's the ML? Did we ever talk about the Apple and the MLS deal? I can't remember if we talked about it.
Did we? Have good for them. Fantastic. You know that you get all your games shown, right? It's beautiful. It's probably the future of, for these leagues. I mean, look, the NFL has the sweetheart of a deal. They got the NFL Network. Baseball's got beautiful deals going. They got the MLB Network. Okay, it's beautiful.
If there's a TFC playoff match, and this is obviously we're rebuilding, but let's say hypothetically speaking, there's a TFC playoff match. Will I need to be subscribed to Apple TV to watch this playoff match?
I don't know.
Okay, well, time will tell. Because I'm not currently subscribed, and I'm not going to subscribe for MLS.
Right. By the way, TFC is that the Italian national team now? What the fuck is going on with this? All these guys wearing freaking Italian national team jerseys at the TFC game because of Insigne. When did TFC become the Italian national team? I don't want to see this. Okay, you're at a TFC game. Stop it.
Okay, but you're reporting from Little Italy right now. What's the vibe in your neck of the woods?
Oh, Insigne is God. He's God. People that couldn't have cared less about TFC are now fans because of Insigne.
Okay. Well, that's your answer right there.
Well, no, it's not, because it's not an Italian team. He happens to be Italian and he's playing on the team. But
a lot of passionate soccer fans are suddenly buying TFC jerseys.
Or buying more Italian jerseys. I don't know. And remember, since Italy's not in the World Cup,
right?
Who else are these people going to root for?
Is there a chance Canada's not in the World Cup because of this clusterfuck, this tire fire that's going on with Canadian soccer?
They're in. That's what I was just saying.
No, I mean, they qualified, but is there any chance they don't play?
Sure there is. If they don't get paid, they don't play.
That's frightening, man. That's frightening.
They don't get paid, they don't pay. They don't play. Wow. And they deserve every penny of it for what they've done. And Canadian soccer is saying, we don't have the money. I mean, it's the business. Fuck that. All right? If these players have to boycott another game, another match, a friendly or whatever, that's taking money out of everybody's pockets.
Wow.
These yahoos that are running the Canadian Soccer Association, and by the way, they just appointed a guy who everybody knew they were going to appoint. Anyway, that's a real problem there. Real problem.
Wow.
Never been transparency with that organization. Never. So this is not just what's going on now with the men's and women's national teams. It's going back years and years. All the fuck ups, all the problems that they've had. And now with their one big chance, their big chance Okay. You've got the defending Olympic champions, right? On the women's side. And you've got a men's team that has a couple of international superstars and more to come and winning, capturing the imagination of an entire nation, but also of soccer players around the world going, hey, Canada's got they got some hops here. We got some, let's look at their development. This affects all of it. Wow. Yutzes. Anyway, the Phoenix Suns, this is the NBA now, matched the Indiana Pacers 4-year, $133 million offer sheet for restricted free agent center DeAndre Ayton last night. Phoenix showed no inclination to negotiate a sign and trade agreement with Indiana, signaling that the Suns were likely to match the offer sheet. $133 million over 4 years. $133 million over 4 years. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft. Ayton was. If they didn't match the offer, they would have lost him and gotten nothing.
Right.
Now they had to. There was nothing they could do. Now they can't trade him if they wanted to, not until January the 15th. Okay. And they can't trade him for a full year without his consent. So that means he's out of any possible trade scenario with Kevin Durant.
Right.
That's a whole other thing. What a story. Ayton averaged 16 points and 10 rebounds a game with the Suns as they made their way to the NBA Finals for the first time in 30 years. DeAndre Ayton, what a player. The Toronto Raptors re-signed forward Justin Champagnie to a multi-year contract and confirmed the signing of Ron Harper Jr. to a 2-way deal. TSN's Josh Lewenberg reporting that Champagnie's deal, believed to be partially guaranteed a 2-way deal. The team had previously issued him a qualifying offer to hold his rights as a restricted free agent this summer. So the Raptors roster looks like this. Okay, these are guaranteed 12 guys. Pascal, Fred, Gary Trent Jr., OG, Boucher, Thaddeus Young, Scotty Barnes, Kem Birch, Otto Porter Jr., Precious, Flynn, and Svi. Partially guaranteed 4 guys: Banton, Brooks, Wilson, and Champagnie, and Harper's on a 2-way. All right. Raptors next year can have a good season in the NBA's Eastern Conference.
Hebsy, you mentioned Kevin Durant's name, but you can't just leave the topic without telling me if you think there's a chance he ends up a Toronto Raptor.
God, no. God, no. Don't want him. I'm a great player and all that, but there's just too much drama there. Would he be an effective player? Of course. He's still a top player. And I know he loves his favorite team growing up with the Raptors. I get that, all of that. But man, we'd have to give up an awful lot for him.
Okay, but we've seen, and again, much younger version, but we've seen in recent history a superstar come in here and playing with, Siakam and Freddie VanVleet, and we win a championship. I'm just wondering if this.
Well, you also had, hang on, bro. You also had a couple of other good players.
Gasol, I know, and
yeah, and go on.
Chef. Yeah, no, that was a really deep team. Like that was a great.
Yeah, that's right. You had Chef and you had Danny Green.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You had a pretty good supporting cast. You're right. My whole thing with Durant is not so much as his fragility. His fragility. Can he play 82 games? No. We're gonna have to load manage this guy.
Yeah, he's a lot older than Kawhi was.
Probably. Too. And again, what are you giving up? Are you giving up the depth that you have? Do you have that much depth that you can afford to do that?
Well, they want Scotty Barnes.
No, right? They don't get Scotty Barnes. He's out of the conversation.
Then this combo's over because
there you go. So the discussion's over. No, it would be some blockbuster. It would be wonderful, I'm sure.
All right, but Rod Black thinks there's a chance for what it's worth. He told me.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. Most of it has to do with whether Durant wants to come here.
Of course.
And is willing to take, I don't know, whatever. To play with the opportunity to play with Scotty Barnes, Fred VanVleet, Pascal. They're not going to give up Pascal in the deal. Are they? Would you give up Pascal in the deal for?
Well, my concerns is, coming off the injury, but the age is a big concern to me. And
the age and the injury again. How fast do you recover from those injuries at that age? Anyway, always good to talk about. And the fact, again, had Durant not said that the Raptors were his favorite team growing up, different story. Ooh, he likes coming. He likes Toronto. We love people that like Toronto. Did Kawhi Leonard go, I want to go to Toronto? You go, Toronto, where's that? Okay, I'll go for a year. But for Durant to go, oh, that's like Sally Field. Oh, he likes us. He likes us. Oh,
yes,
my
but in
God.
the NBA, this is significant, right?
Very significant. Sure, it's very significant. Doesn't mean he's going to be a great player.
I know Durant would be.
Doesn't mean he's going to lead the team to
No.
victories, and doesn't mean that he's going to stay injury free.
Every once in a while, I'll ask somebody, who do you think was the greatest, free agent to choose to play for the Raptors? And then it's never a very big name. It's Ball. Who's the Ball guy? Ball. I think he was the guy.
I don't want to talk about the Raptors anymore. I want to talk about baseball again.
Yeah, I can never tell when you're.
I want to talk about baseball again because there was a play last night in the game where I forget who the Jays pitcher was. Comebacker, back up the middle. He couldn't quite get it. And instead of letting it go, because he should have known that the infielder was right behind the bag, like they always are these days, he deflected it, and everybody was safe. And it brought up this idea that by this time the pitchers should know. Look, if the ball's hit up the middle, that there's going to be a shortstop or second baseman behind the bag because that's where they've been playing guys. So there's a new rule that's coming in baseball because of this, because people just don't like the shift. They don't like the fact that guys are hitting the ball hard to places that normally infielders wouldn't be, and they're there. And anyway, too many great defensive plays or too much shifting defensively. So beginning July the 22nd, the Low A Florida State League will experiment with the pie slice rule, which will prohibit defenders from occupying a specific patch of dirt behind second base. So Mike, take a look from home plate. Look at second base, okay? Take 2 chalk lines drawn on the infield behind second base, extending from each edge of the bag to the outfield grass. It's a triangle. So the base of it starts at the base, and then it narrows to a point in the outfield. That ensuing triangular patch of dirt will be off limits until the pitch is delivered, meaning that the players cannot encroach into that area. Ump's going to have to watch that. If a defender violates the pie slice rule, the hitting team can choose the outcome of the pitch, the outcome of the play, or an automatic ball. How about that? Would you go for something like that, Mike?
Yeah.
Similar to the trapezoid in hockey, similar to the no touch zone in basketball, the no contact zone. In the block charge there. Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I hate the shift. I hate the crack of the bat. That's a single. When I'm a teenager, that's a single every day of the week and twice on Sundays, but not today, friends, because what the hell is that third baseman doing over there? No. Fuck the shift.
Right. Tiger Woods, by the way, +9. Gained 9 over par playing.
Craig Miller on your YouTube doesn't understand your constant nagging on the great Tiger Woods. He says,
"What do you mean my constant nagging?"
Again, he put "again" in all caps. Apparently, he's detected that you do you frequently rant against Tiger Woods.
Well, I have. Yeah. Well, I do frequently rant against. He's the greatest player in the world, but he also does certain things that just make me scratch my head. So why not?
But Craig says, "Go ahead."
What does Craig say?
Craig,
what does Craig say?
Because
Craig loves Tiger Woods, right? Craig's down on his knees for Tiger Woods.
He says Tiger was asked a question. He answered the question.
He gave more than an answer. He basically said these guys from LIV are bad guys.
But isn't that what we want athletes to do? Like this is the first.
Oh, you know what though? If he's going to do that, why doesn't he do that when it comes to other topics he's been asked about?
Okay, but then we can no longer
suddenly is he vocal about the LIV Golf Tour? And by the way, suggesting, Craig, suggesting that these players aren't motivated to practice because they already have money in their pockets is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard anyone, athlete or no, say. That for Tiger Woods to suggest, well, these guys don't practice because they have guaranteed money. What about every athlete that has a guaranteed contract? Do they not practice because their money is guaranteed? Because that's what he's saying.
Right.
He's saying basically any human being that's guaranteed money doesn't have to go out there and work on their game.
Okay, maybe you disagree with what he says, but aren't you glad he said something? Like Tiger hasn't said anything in 25 years. Like the fact, we cannot complain about the athletes who say nothing if we're going to go off on an athlete for saying something.
It's great. But go ahead and name names, man. Go ahead and say that this guy or that guy. Go ahead and say it. But really what he should have said was this. These guys, they made their choice, right? I wish them the best of luck. They're not part of the PGA Tour anymore. I am, and I'm damn proud of it.
Okay, well, you
That's all
can't
he had
have
to
it
say.
both ways,
That's all he
Hebsy.
had to-
You
no,
want
no,
the
that's
corporate
all he
spiel
had
that
to
he's
say.
been dishing out for 20
All he
years.
had to say. All he had to say. But instead, he chose to go after the tour. And where's Tiger going to finish? And where are some of these guys on the Live Tour going to finish? And what if a Live Tour player like Dustin Johnson wins the Open? Will Tiger retract his statements? I don't think so.
No, but
Anyway,
here, let me just say, I'll
hey,
speak for myself.
hey, forget it, okay? It's my show. Don't want to respond to some fucking Tiger sucker out there. Oh, you're always railing on Tiger. Don't listen to the show if you don't like what I have to say. He's the greatest golfer ever. He's got flaws. Got it? That's it. Let's go back to the baseball thing, which is way more exciting to me. 3 other major experiments in place for baseball in the minor leagues. Larger bases to increase steal attempts and infield hits. I like that. Big bases, like big pillows. Pitch clocks, which they never use the pitch clock. I see it counting down. I never once have seen the umpire. That's it. Okay, that's a ball. Never. But apparently next year in Major League Baseball 2023, they could well really implement them. Like, a buzzer goes, I don't know what it is. And wait for it, robo-umps.
Woo.
By 2024, Mike, robo-umps. And I couldn't be happier because I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Give me the robo-ump. Give me on the home plate calls, give me the robo-ump. Just like in tennis, it's on the line, it's in, beep, it's out, beep, do it.
Maybe it should be like an electrical zap, like you get a shock. Okay.
No, but even if you have a human standing there who just announces what the what the robot said, ump just looks at it and it goes beep, and the ump goes strike, and you can't argue it because it's an umpire, but he's making the robo-ump call.
What about a recording of Leslie Nielsen calling the balls and strikes from Naked Gun?
Or even better, how about the PA announcer goes ball, strike, right?
Okay,
it's coming. It's coming. All these sports are evolving, Mike. Sports evolve. They just do, right? They got to make it more fan friendly. They got to move the game along and whatever it is. I get it. And finally, Jim Thorpe has been reinstated as the sole winner of the 1912 Olympic pentathlon and decathlon in Stockholm, nearly 110 years after being stripped of those gold medals for violations of strict amateurism rules at the time. The International Olympic Committee, now we're talking about some real bozos here, but they did good. They done good, finally. The IOC will make the announcement today. Thorpe won gold medals in the decathlon and pentathlon and later was given a ticker tape parade down Broadway. The first Olympic hero. Months later, however, it was discovered that he had played in a summer baseball league where he was paid. Many amateurs at the time played for pay, but never used their real names for fear of losing their amateur status. Thorpe foolishly used his real name when he signed up to play summer league baseball for like $10 a week or whatever. And when he was caught, the Olympic medals were stripped. He lost his amateur status and had to return the medals in what was considered the first major international sports scandal.
Wow.
All right. Thorpe then played Major League Baseball for the New York Giants and helped popularize professional football, but could never be considered the world's greatest athlete because of the scandal. In 1982, the IOC gave duplicate gold medals to Thorpe's family, but his Olympic records were not reinstated. Now they have been. So instead of being named the co-champion of the 1912 Olympic pentathlon and decathlon, and by the way, I forget the name of the other person, the person who finished second to Jim Thorpe, but that person refused to accept the gold medals after Thorpe had to give the refused.
That person. That's
refused. I didn't win them.
Right.
I didn't win them. He won them. So Jim Thorpe's now the outright winner of the 1912 pentathlon and decathlon in the record books. Case closed. That's a fitting ending for episode 293 of Hebsy on Sports. Thanks to Toronto Mike, as always, for production and inspiration. Hit him up at Toronto Mike and listen to his excellent podcast. What did you have? Four good ones this week?
4 good ones, but I'm telling you, Hebsy, this was fire. I love classic Hebsy. Just been great fun this last hour hearing you talk sports.
Thanks, buddy. Coke Classic. Classic Hebsy. A big thank you to our fabulous sponsor, Crosswinds Golf and Country Club in Burlington. Go to crosswindsgolf.com. Book your tee time now. Oh, it's gorgeous. When you're out there, just pretend you're at St. Andrews. And you look up at the leaderboard. And Tiger Woods is 9 over par. And some raving lunatic out there is going, God damn it, Hebsy, stop making fun of Tiger Woods.
Love you, Craig. Keep listening, buddy. I love your contribution.
Making fun of Tiger. God damn it, leave Tiger alone. Leave him. Thanks to you for allowing us into your headspace. Back with another episode next week from a mystery location.
Woo.
Somewhere near the water that has high-speed internet.
My house?
No, it's closer to the water than that, Mike. Until then, so long for now.